to present that plan to the public, and since that time have worked with administration to respond to stakeholder circulation comments, and such as what Tammy touched on previous to my presentation. This plan here that you see just indicates the land ownership for within the area. So you can see the United and Rencore parcel in blue and Polyco in yellow. The land use and transportation plan does promote a complete community that has residential in the yellow. See, it's yellow. Your print is probably better than the green. And we have medium density residential, which would be townhouse form development in the orange color, and the commercial development is located in the south area of the plan along Highway 1. The density that we intend to meet in this area would be in line with the municipal development plan in the town of Strathmore and the Calgary Metropolitan Plan, and that range is 8 to 10 units per gross acre. So that works out to approximately, we're anticipating about 1,400 units in this area with anticipated population of 3,600 people. The access to the land has been aligned with the existing development to the west, so Park Lane Drive, Archie Clyburn Trail, and aligning with the Ranch Market access that are on the west side of George Freeman. We have provided an access through to the north for to lead into the previously approved residential development that would be on the north boundary. On the east side there is a right-of-way that will be dedicated to allow for future connections if needed to the east beyond the WID canal, and an access point is proposed along the highway to help support the commercial development and deal with the traffic in this area. The open space network is a large component of this area, and we emphasize connectivity through this community to ensure that the recreational areas, the naturalized storm ponds, the commercial area, and any social areas are well connected. You can see there's a sort of a central open space corridor, which would be a social and passive recreational area where there will be some naturalized storm ponds incorporated. A linear open space along the WID canal has been included as well, leading north and south in the development. And regional and local pathways run through the open spaces here to lead yourself to the actual, and will connect to the existing regional alignment, pathway alignment. The landowners do anticipate to prepare land use and land use redesignation application fairly soon for initial phases of development, and the development is expected to start, as you can see, where number 1 is for on the blue parcel, which would be commercial, and number 1 on the yellow, which would be a residential area. So that is a presentation for this evening, and I'm available to answer any questions council may have.
Any questions from council? Council Beal,
I look at the plan and it seems like it's fairly nice. Like the thing that concerns me, and I'm a great advocate of wetlands, and I don't want to see any of the wetlands in that area cut down, or I want to know like if there's a beautification plan for that or not.
The concept here is what you see is this what we're calling naturalized storm ponds. Those are located in the lower areas of the land, and the idea is to integrate natural features that are there with the stormwater management. So we have a policy that reads to that effect.
Okay, I guess I just don't want to see them left to die type thing.
Yeah, and that, again, that would come along at the sort of more detailed design stages where they will determine to engineering wise how much water needs to come through here and how they would design those spaces to continue to flourish.
Through the chair to our director, does this come back to us before the development in that area is going to happen, so that we can get some type of a full explanation as to what will be happening with the wetlands there?
Yes, go ahead.
Your Worship, basically the process is that any of the bylaws will go to council. However, the actual design elements of the engineering aspects in regards to the ponds will be reviewed by our engineering team, including our contract engineer at the time that they are being developed. So they will not necessarily, that will not necessarily come to council.
Okay, does that then have to be approved by Environment Alberta?
Yes, they do, because it has to deal with the body of water.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Gill.
Your Worship, I was just reading the package in our council handout, and it mentioned on page 28 that the Town of Strathmore Wetland Conservation Plan 2005 does not indicate any wetlands in the plan area as environmentally significant wetlands. The BIA concludes that the effects of the future land use on regional habitat, fragmentation, biodiversity, and wildlife corridors will be negligible or minor. So I think part of that would give us an answer that hopefully will make you feel a little bit better as far as the wetlands or what's considered wetlands in this area.
I'm sure Environment Alberta will tell us all about it.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any questions? No? Thank you very much for your presentation.
So the landowners are available as well for presentation and questions.
Any questions to the landowners council?
Just a quick one, Your Worship. Starting with phase 1, it's just a small portion of commercial land along what's now the Trans-Canada Highway. Is that correct? You're just going to have one small portion, and then you're going to go into phase 1 farther north in your subdivision?
Yes, it is, Your Worship, Council. My name's Ron Renault. I'm one of the co-owners, so I'm with Renko Developments. First phase would be about 100,000 square feet of building, probably on about 12 to 15 acres, and we're pretty confident that would start right away. We were hoping that we'd be able to start this summer, and it would be basically an extension of the ranch market style. We were involved with that. I'll just take this opportunity to compliment your staff. They were fantastic and very professional through the whole piece. So if you're in line for a raise or anything.
Why did you bring that up? Thank you very much. Yes.
Your Worship, my name is Bill Turnbull, and I think I should say something. I represent Polyco. Two specifics for Councillor Best on the wetland questions. I could hardly stay in my seat. Other than being a developer, I've been a long-term director and participant with Ducks Unlimited Canada. I was a national president from 1994 to 96, and I was a national chairman of the board from 1997 to 2000. George Freeman and Jerry Brunin and I collaborate quite often still. You can be assured the wetlands, the integrity of the wetlands there will be kept. Absolutely. The two things I'd like to say, this is my first time in front of this council. Ron's developed here and Paul has developed here for the United. The thing that was fun about this project was, number one, it was a collaborative effort between three developers, which doesn't happen very often, that three developers agree on much. But the process, which took about a year to develop this plan, really was a collaborative effort. And Ron underplayed the staff other than the raise component, because this is the most proactive staff I've ever seen to get things done. We had some challenges, especially with AT. They can be a challenge in any municipality. And rather than folding your tent and saying, no, we can't do it, your staff figured out a way to do it. So I really commend them for that.
Thank you. Are there any other person wishing to be heard in favor of the application? If not, no delegations, and persons wishing to be opposed, don't want to be heard. If there's none opposed, no questions from council. Is planning, anywhere from planning and development? Yes.
Your Worship, we did receive a letter on January 28th in favor of the development. You have a copy of that in front of you, so I would be remiss not mentioning it. And again, just to summarize, the plan itself does conform with all the statutory plans as well as the policies of the town of Strathmore.
Thank you. There's no further questions from anybody. For a motion for,
I would move that the public hearing be closed.
all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks, over here in the public hearing. Continuing with the regular council meeting. Any more adoptions to the agenda? Or additions or deletions? Councilor Randall.
Nothing, Your Worship.
I have nothing, Your Worship.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Administration?
Yes, Your Worship, 5.2, a photo op with RC&D.
Is that it? Motion for,
Your Worship, I would move that we accept the agenda as amended.
all in favor? Carried. 4-1, adoption of the January 18th to 12 committee of the whole meeting minutes.
Worship, I move the council adopt the January 18th, 2012 committee of the whole meeting minutes as presented.
All in favor? Carried.
Your Worship, I would move the adoption of the January 18th, 2012 regular council meeting minutes.
All in favor?
Your Worship, just before we do that, just a quick amendment, if we could just correct spelling of John Rempel's name in the draft minutes for the regular council meeting.
Let me bring that up, didn't you?
Sorry. I was looking out for you.
With his correct spelling. All in favor? Carried. 5-1, citizen of the month, Councilor Best, I believe it's your turn.
Yes, it is my turn, Your Worship. Mayor Graychick, my fellow councillors, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great privilege to recognize this month's recipient of the Town of Strathmore Citizen Award. This true gentleman exemplifies the meaning of community, spiritedness, and pride. This is a man who lived and worked in Strathmore his entire life. He has been involved with Celebration for Lights since its inception 5 years ago. He is responsible for the setup of the park, does all the electrical work, and builds the displays. On top of all this, he also takes care of the park from opening night right through to mid-January. Every night he is there to open, hand out candies, shovel when necessary, start the fire, and any other duties that need to be done. He does most of this work on his own, sometimes helped by his sweetheart. When this man commits to a project, he does so with his whole heart and soul. He has volunteered as a director with the Agriculture Society for over 20 years, volunteers for the Heritage Days Rodeo and events, and sits on the Strathmore Golf Course Arts and Recreation Foundation Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in congratulating Mr. Dennis McNeil as the February 2012 recipient of the Town of Strathmore Citizen Award. Thank you for your commitment and to the community, Dennis. We're proud to call you a citizen.
You get a check? Nobody else did.
park out and you really get for that.
I also have one personal thing that I would like to do, and that's to present Dennis with a check of my own for $250 for Light Up the Night.
Oh, thanks, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Councillor Best. My speech isn't quite as profound, but we happen to have, very fortunate, last week the Redcoats came to town. A group of Montties that put on a tournament throughout Alberta. This year they chose Strathmore to put on this tournament. There was approximately 250 members there. I guess they had a great time. Well, the one evening I was with them, they enjoyed themselves. And what's really, really exciting is that they took all the monies earned. Not only did they go about getting all the prizes and the door prizes and the auction items, they not only went and got them, but they also bought them back themselves throughout the evening and raised. I never did hear how much they had raised that evening, but I'm assuming a considerable amount of money. All the money is going to the local schools here, and that is something that I'm really, really proud of you guys about. And you guys are doing a great job. And I was saying to them, because they did such a great job, I want to send them some company up to tournament next year. It's in Whitecourt, I believe. And I would like to send a gift from the town of Strathmore for your live auction next year. So thanks a bunch, guys. You did a great job. I would like you guys to come forward, and that is Vince Olson, Scott Bird, Corey Benton. Is that right? And I have a picture with you. They give us a picture for hosting the tournament. I have it back here. It's absolutely beautiful by an artist. His name is who? I can't quite read because I don't have the glass, but it's a beautiful picture. If you guys want to come forward. And I thank you very much. But in it here, there's a picture of the RCP guy and a native gentleman. You can really see it in there. It's hand done. Absolutely beautiful. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. $18,000 is going to the local schools. Approximately. Amazing.
I agree with you.
Number 6-1, bylaw number 11-25, Edgefield Area Structure Plan, page 13. Go ahead, Danny.
Your worship, the recommended action that we have is that council provides second reading to bylaw 11-25, and if that is done, that council provide third and final reading to bylaw 11-25 to adopt the Edgefield Area Structure Plan.
Thank you very much. No comments or questions? Looking for a motion for second reading?
Your worship, I would move that council provide second reading to bylaw number 11-25.
You all heard the motion? Any discussion? Not, all in favor? Carried?
And your worship, I would move that council provide third and final reading to bylaw 11-25.
You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried? Thank you.
Go get them, guys.
You're off and running, guys.
Go get them.
Now I can say, you gotta clean up those bills in the car.
We'll get it done.
I talked to him already.
Oh, very good. Tomorrow?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do it.
6-2, page 55.
Your worship, we need to set a public hearing for March 7th, commencing at 7:30. And we would like to refer bylaw 11-27 to that public hearing if you so desire to set it up.
Your worship, I would move the council set a public hearing for March 7th, 2012, commencing at 7:30 p.m.
You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried.
Your worship, I move that council refer bylaw number 11-27 to the public hearing on March 7th, 2012.
You all heard the motion? All in favor? Carried. Old business 7-1, terms of reference for Highway Ring Road Committee, page 57. I believe that if and when we need this committee to start, I'm sure we will. Myself and Councillor Bob Soul were volunteering to be on it. Is that okay with everybody? We have no definition time, but if we ever even needed it, but we do. We're prepared to. Is that okay with the administration? Councillor Rempel?
Just on the terms of reference, it is not a ring road.
I would like to call it a bypass means we're leaving Strathmore.
Because a ring road goes around.
Well, eventually it will.
I don't think so. It's a highway realignment. Highway 1 realignment is what it was called originally.
As long as we don't call it, Councillor Rempel, as long as we don't call it bypass.
Well, no, and I actually agree with Councillor Rempel on this, that it should be, as a ring road, that's saying that it's going totally around the town, and it certainly is not.
And we're a highway realignment committee, and
That's, I think, good wording for it.
I'm happy with that.
Okay, and then Councillor Rempel and the Mayor will be the two representatives?
No, so Councillor Soul.
Sorry.
No, I won't be on there.
Do we need is that just
On the
direction by council, how does this work, on motion or what? Administration, what would you like?
I prefer a motion.
Your worship, I would move that council appoint Steve Graychick and Bob Sobel from council and the Director of Engineering and Operations to the Highway Realignment Committee.
All in favor? Carried. We have a request for deferral of taxes.
For your worship, could we also have a motion to approve the terms of reference for that committee?
Can we do that at a later date than we don't even know? I'd like to talk to administration, and I'm sure that Councilor Soto would do, as to what, or have council's input. We need to do some study, and I don't think we know the term of reference right now. Mr. Martin Van Bosselen, can you come forward and speak to your issue?
Madam, will sit down.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Do I have to speak first?
Well, yeah, go ahead. You tell us where you're.
Everybody got the letter out.
Yeah.
I had a phone call from him, and I had a phone call this morning from the mayor about the reverse mortgage, right?
Yes.
It's the most stupid thing in the world, you know. Both my lawyer and my banker told me to stay away from that, it stinks. Okay. Another thing is, what I was saying last time about, it all goes about, I can't do both. Pay taxes and pay for the water bill. Well, the water bill is not bad, it's the sewer bill. And you asked me last time what we do about it. I said, well, I'll have a suggestion now, and I know that everybody else be screaming except me. Put an extra $500 on everybody's taxes and says for that plant or whatever they call it. I have a name for it, but I can't use it in public. That's the only thing I can say. Now, I just seen the letter, but I made a suggestion. It's okay. I just like to have, I can't pay the water and my town taxes at the same time. So I spoke to the mayor this morning, and he said, well, I said, how long are you gonna go after me? He said, we can't defer your taxes, because there's something in the municipal act with some crazy thing that it can be done. So, okay, that's the municipal act. I guess there's more damn laws than you can ever think of. I'm always waiting in the morning, as soon as I get out of bed, by the time I have my washroom, I probably broke 5 laws already, So I can't really do it. Now, I can sit down there and leave all my beautiful land there, and I love gardening, and just let it go, and sit there cussing everybody, and whatever else. Because right now, okay, I'm 80 years old this year. I don't know how many years I can still fool around in the garden. So, you just said something, it won't bother me if I don't pay taxes for 4 years, just send me some dirty letters. It won't take my house away from me.
Takes a long time to get a house on taxes.
Okay, good enough.
Maybe administration comment.
In my letter, I asked for 5 years.
We'd like administration to comment on that, if a house goes into arrears on taxes.
Your worship, it usually takes 3 years.
3 years?
3 years. Oh my God, I hope I'm in the lottery before that. Okay, we'll do it for 3 years. I'll pay the water with my town taxes. You can send me all kinds of dirty letters you want to. That's fine. But I cannot pay.
It's very expensive, Every time we do that, it's very expensive for you. It adds on to the bill big time.
How much is big time?
I don't know.
How much is big time?
The penalties are pretty high. I don't remember the percent right off. I don't know if anybody does.
So, Your Worship?
Yes.
So if I can just get this clear, we can't provide a deferral because that would obviously set a precedent, and a lot of people would want to have their taxes deferred. But in essence, you're going to create a deferral by not paying your property taxes and wait for us to come after taking your home? Is that what you're planning to do?
It's going to be, but I don't know. Remember, the average age for a Canadian male is 79, so I'm right there. I'm an average Canadian. So how many years I'm going to live, I don't know.
No, I just want to clarify what your intentions are. You're kind of giving yourself your own deferral.
I'll pay the water bill, but I won't pay my taxes. So 3 years, how much is it going to cost me? $5,400 my taxes right now. You put another 10,000 on top?
I don't remember. I think it's around 9% a couple of times a year, or something like that.
9% a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
On the deferral of the taxes.
Yeah.
Well, they're better than a
Your Worship, can I make another comment? I know you gave this advice, and you said that you think the reverse mortgage is crooked and it stinks.
Yeah,
well, that's not what I've been told and what I've been given advice to. What I'm saying to you is that's an option you could consider that would give yourself a very comfortable lifestyle for the rest of your life. And then whoever inherits your home would be paid off first, and the town itself would be paid off. So everybody would be getting their payment.
It'd be much cheaper.
And it'd be much cheaper for you, and it'd be much cheaper for everyone concerned.
I'm on GIS. And you know how the government is. It goes all the way to Strathmore to tell them what he's going to do to your old ages. Uncle Stevie. You know what I mean? So if I get $75,000 or $100,000 on my house, they probably call it an income. So I have to pay.
No, they wouldn't call it income.
What?
They wouldn't call it income.
No, I don't trust any governments, I tell you. I've been too long.
Well,
I've lived too long.
Thank you very much. Our heart goes out to you, it truly does, but we have no, our hands are tied. And
As long as you don't take my house up from when they meet me. You can charge it up whatever you want, 2 years.
Guarantee that, Mr. Boston.
3 years.
Eventually we would
Yeah,
take
I
the
know,
house.
well, but give me 3 years, you know, you never know, in 3 years, I'm probably dead. You never know.
But I would advise you to talk to your banker again, and, because I know that there's not a perfect deal, but, and I'm not telling you what to do. Councilor Best?
Somebody else is, somebody's gonna nail me, I know that.
Mr. Van Boston, the thing is I think rather than just looking at what you can do for yourself, if you let this run up on your houses, on your tax bill, you're not really helping your posterity very much. Your children are the ones who are going to end up paying for this. And I think that that's something you really need to look at.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't owe my kids anything. I could give my house to charity or whatever.
My only concern is that if in 3 years from now, if you're healthy, and you could very well be healthy, then the process starts again and you're facing the town coming after your property. And that's an even worse situation than we're in now. So the other option is you meet with the administration and find a way to try to make things work. I would hate for you to come back in 3 years in good health and say, oh my gosh, you guys are now going to take my house away because I owe so much. That's my worry for you, Mr. Van Boston. Because you're kind of taking a gamble, kind of a risk here, and I worry about that.
Like I said, it's like buying a lottery ticket, you never know if you're gonna make it.
Could you meet with the administration and maybe try and work something out? They're not gonna forgive anything, it's just maybe we can work something out.
Look, I could I need a hearing aid. I'm saving up for that. Plus $5,000, maybe, that's what I need. So, so I can pay that money off and forget about my hearing aid. I saved up from right close to $5,000. So I can start paying my town taxes to forget about my hearing aid. Nobody seems to understand what I'm up against. And I know there's all these stupid laws we have in this country, that the people keep making, and there's all those people that seem to have lots of money I cannot have. That's all I have. I told you in my letter how much my income is, after I pay for my life and extended care. That wasn't planned either. You understand what I mean? So she helped me pay for the house. Right now we got nothing. She's in one place, I'm in the other place.
Well,
I looked at garden, it's just a lousy, it's not the water bill, I can pay for the water, the lousy stinking plant bill. That's what I'm paying for. Yeah, just $330 on my last water bill. The water bill is $660. You know, 330 is for that stinking plant down there. And that's what I said. Now, there was, a year ago, you could buy a little thing and put it on your outside and you didn't pay. Council changed that too. So we haven't done that anymore either. Whatever you put the outside water. All I want is do what they do in Coaldale. In Coaldale, in the winter months and the 4 months, it takes your average water bill and you pay the sewer and the water bill. In the summer, the water that doesn't go back into the sewer, you just pay for your water. I don't mind paying for the water. But I mean, it's that stinking sewer bill, that's what kills me.
No matter what your monthly pay for, there's a minimum that we have to pay for that.
That's what I mean, that's what I said, okay, up my taxes $500 or $600, that's $50 a month. Right now, I put $150 away per month, right off my, every month, today, yesterday, it's taken away, so by the end of the month, at the end of the year, I can pay. That'd be, the end of the year, I can make it $200. The end of the year, I pay $2,400. Do it that
Well,
way.
we're not going to do anything here tonight about that. We're going to suggest to you again, please be patient, talk to your accountant and your banker one more time to get an understanding of how that already works, and administration, okay?
Because, I tell them that don't have to pay my taxes till June the 30th.
That's right, yeah.
So they got 3-4 months.
Yeah.
It's the same problem. It's old ages, there's some gentleman sitting beside me there. It's got the same problem. There's a lot more old ages. And you have this, what you call, just green, towns in bloom, or whatever you call that thing. Well, this time won't be a bloom, it is the dry year next year. There's a lot of people that say again, they won't even want to go on because it costs me. I came to this town to see my letter because of the irrigation. So now they took the irrigation away from me. And now I'm paying. Thank you. I'm paying for the way too that I don't use. But thank you, I got till this time, I'll take the money out, I'll finish the town, pay for the water bill. And I'll see in June what's gonna happen, or 2 or 3 years from now what's gonna happen. I don't worry about 2 years from now. I'm an old man. An old man don't worry about age anymore. About my strength, I got more worry about it. You know, at 80. Thank you very much, everybody. But that's the way it is.
Thank you.
Good night. That's the way it is, right?
8.2, amendment to the offer to purchase reservoir lands. Page 65.
Your Worship, I would move the council approve the amendment to the offer of purchase between the town of Strathmore and Skyscape Management with respect to the property described as northwest, north quarter northwest 22, 24, 25, and west of the fourth meridian, as presented, and that the CAO be authorized to sign and amend to the offer to purchase on behalf of the town.
You all heard your motion, administration?
Yes, we've got to make some changes. Time-wise, this schedule doesn't work out right. And I've met with the developer several times, including today. And we've made some amendments with his agreement. And my deputy CEO will review that.
And it's just the condition day, we're extending that to March 8th rather than March 30th.
And the money will come in before you're ready. Okay. Pardon? Your Worship, yes. So anyway, there's that part. Plus, the final payment will be December 31st of this year, not
February 28th.
February the 28th or 13th. I speeded it up. We need the money this year.
So the first payment will be when?
August 30th of 2012 would be the first payment.
$1,500,000.
Yes, and then December 31st of 2012 would be the balance owing.
December 31st?
Yes.
And all other terms and conditions remain the same?
Yes.
Any
Your
questions?
Worship, I'm very happy that he agreed to it because we need that money in particular for our Newtown reservoir.
Any questions from council? Just don't open the door, please. Any questions from council? No.
Your Worship, maybe Jess could say a couple of words.
Just related to the timing of the purchase?
Yes, and why we needed to.
Sure, yeah. The construction of the water reservoir is funded partially through the sale of these lands. So we're still efforting to have that potable water reservoir constructed in 2013, and so having these funds secured allows us to proceed into a tender situation and start the construction of the reservoir. So March 8th on the condition date aligns with our tender plans, and that will allow us to proceed.
Council happy with it? With the amendments? Or is it an amendment, or is it just for adding to it? It's not an amendment.
Whatever you want to call it.
Well, let's vote on the amendment for just so we know. All in favor of the amendments? Carried. Now, the original motion. I guess I should ask Council Benson best if you put the amendments in. All in favor of the original motion? Carried. 3, ammonia detection equipment.
Thank you, Your Worship. Administration received direction to bring the ammonia detection equipment up to standards at the Family Center. This work was not budgeted for in 2011, so a resolution of council is required. The cost to bring the equipment up to standards is approximately $18,050. And we're looking for a motion from council to approve the unbudgeted expenditure to bring the ammonia detection equipment up to code to meet the requirements of occupational health and safety for a total price not to exceed $18,050 plus GST, with the funds to be drawn from the Family Center Capital Reserve.
What was the figure again?
$18,050 plus GST.
Any questions from council?
Your Worship, just a quick question. If it's unbudgeted, do we know where the funds are coming from, or am I missing something?
From the Family Center.
From the, okay. Oh, okay, capital reserve. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
I guess the question begs itself as to how did this get missed?
This did not get missed, Your Worship. This was direction given to administration this summer, and we had a number of people in reviewing. There was a large amount of work to be done, which included wiring, sensors, explosive-proof detection, sensors, all sorts of things. So it's just the motion coming forward now, just to approve that amount.
We have not.
This did not come forward in the 2011 budget because we didn't realize, as the budget was prepared in 2010, this came forward in 2011, and we did bring it before council, and we received direction to have this corrected. So we are now bringing the amount forward to council for an approval.
Do we have a regular maintenance program on this stuff? Or?
We would have a maintenance program, which is how we would have found this.
Question through the chair. Is this a large expenditure or a large hit to the capital reserve?
So I don't have information on hand.
We need a motion and then corrections, I guess, again.
Your Worship, I'll move that the council approve the unbudgeted expenditure to bring the ammonia detection equipment up to code to meet the requirements of the occupational health and safety for a total price not to exceed $18,050 plus GST to be funded from the Family Center Capital Reserve.
No further questions or comments? Not all in favor? Carried.
Your Worship, I have a question in relation to 5.1. I can't recall whether Councillor Best made his motion to in regards to Citizen of the Month.
No, I did not.
Shame on
We'll make it official.
you. We can do committee reports, and you can take that motion with the committee report.
Thank you.
Committee reports, Councillor Rocky. Sure, all three of them at once.
Your Worship, Handy Bus meeting I attended January 23rd. The board has increased its members finally. The proposed 2012 budget, with any luck, could be balanced. Noting corporate donation drives have to continue. I did bring Linda with me to the board meeting to explain additional costs of full-time drivers. Also explain the benefits of full-time and part-time drivers regarding scheduling. There's also some discussion to lighten Hetty's workload regarding the Handy Bus Association. Even after Linda's comments, the board still seems intent on issues with full-time drivers. Due to other commitments, I have to leave the meeting at that time. United Way meeting, January 19th. The board has set dates through 2012 for fundraisers and maybe more so public awareness. Starting Valentine's meet and greet, I guess at my bakery, free coffee and donuts, cookies. There's no monetary gain in it for me. Pictures with Santa in November, pictures with the dogs in the fall. The board's considering a bingo, maybe getting involved with the parade. It was mentioned the needs assessment is finally underway by Gilliam Consulting, should come in under budget. Just a note here, the Calgary campaign came in higher than last year at $54 million. Part of some of that money comes this way. That's good news. My final report here, Councillor Sobel asked me to give a final mention here on the financial report on the Centennial Committee. Administration has advised that $900 in revenues for the gala was incorrectly coded and not included in the following figures. In effect, this means that we actually had a surplus for the gala, a little over $300, and that we are returning just under $14,000 to reserves, and that we only used $46,000 of the budget that we asked for originally. Just a short note, side note I have here with Councillor Sobel, I guess he's not here tonight. I remember our first centennial meeting, November 2010, indeed consisted of Councillors Bob, myself, Linda and Carol from town administration, and we kind of looked at each other and wasn't quite sure how we were going to pull this thing off. Myself being new to this process, you could say Councillor Bob grabbed control, got organized in a very short time, had a committee headed by Michael Ells, and Michael, good job, very well done. In a very short time, period, this committee organized Family Day, we got Centennial Pins going, July 2nd and 3rd downtown, the gala came off, and even managed to start and finish a beautiful park downtown. Also to mention the Centennial book, which should be coming out shortly. I would like council and administration to join me in commending both Michael Ells and Councillor Sobel on a job very well done.
And yourself. Thank you. Councillor Hamilton.
Only had two committee reports, Your Worship, this month. The Communities in Bloom had their AGM the first part of January with a potluck supper. A new financial officer was elected, and Robert remains as president. And we discussed at length some of the new projects that are going to be identified hopefully in the very near future. The Chamber of Commerce, I was absent in British Columbia and couldn't attend, and all my other committees have not met as of last month.
Thank you. Councillor Best.
I went to the Happy Gang meeting and gave my report on the to the general body of the Happy Gang regarding the economic development report for the past year, mentioning some of the key points as pointed out by our CAO's report. We then had a question and answer session. Next meeting is 02/07/12. Community Futures Wild Rose. We discussed the office space rental with the Canadian Badlands Foundation, and the report was given as to its progress. A new Community Futures modernization initiative was discussed. This will severely cause sweeping changes to Community Futures operation as we know them today. And I will go into to provide more in-depth report on the facts and figures in the future on that. The BVI Strathmore signage project was discussed, and Strathmore's location signs should be installed this spring. And the entrepreneurial challenge, and I'd like to thank the newspapers for the write-up that they gave on that. is set to begin in February. Next meeting is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Housing, there was no meeting in the month of January. However, there will be a meeting on 02/16, at which point the budget will be discussed. The Names Committee, there was no meeting, and I will leave WFCSS to Councillor Rempel.
Councillor Jewell.
The Strathmore Municipal Library Board. I went to the Marigold Libraries meeting Saturday, January 28th, and I will be reporting to the Library Board at the next meeting. We have a new member that's been approved by Council and accepted as a board member. We are surpassing, the library has surpassed last year's statistics as far as new card holders in the library. We also have been reviewing the building envelope in preparation and planning to look at what we might be doing as far as either staying in the facility or looking to possibly build or move. And the financial reports were approved, and we have set a budget meeting to be early in February. That's the library board. Youth Club of Strathmore, our programs are up and running. We are looking at getting a business case, a business plan done so that we can look at future planning for staffing, programs, facilities, and funding. I have already sent an email out to Jennifer Brooks to see if she can help us with that. We plan to be at Revs in February to work on promoting our programs. We have a May fundraiser coming up, a big one that's going to be advertised very soon, a casino. Hope I can say that. And there'll be more information coming out. Kristen Mundy has been doing a phenomenal job planning that. And the youth facility, it looks like we'll be getting the cost for flooring donated. The building is now open for use. They're looking at coming up with plans for a rental agreement to make sure that all parties are protected. We had no quorum for a museum meeting, and as Councillor Best said, there was no Wheatland housing meeting. And that's it.
When you tell them that information is out there already, it's too late. You know
It's
that.
out there.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
But great job.
I hate you.
Councillor Rempel.
Well, Names Advisory didn't meet in January, but there's a meeting scheduled here for the next week or so. And the WFCSS, we have had 2 meetings in January. We had our regular board meeting on January 25th, at which time we took, there was 3 requests for funding. And then on January 30th, we had another meeting set aside especially for, or entirely for the request for funding from different organizations. And other than that, I guess things are progressing as normal.
Thank you. CRP, I was at a CRP regional meeting here in every last week, and we sent a letter to Crossfield regretting that they pulled out of CRP, but that they could come back anytime. And the only reason what they did pull out was that they just feel it just didn't suit them at this time, but they'd be glad to work with us and we work with them in the future. I'm going to a retreat in CRP executive retreat in Banff, Darnall, on the 8th and 9th of this month. And I will then, and only then, can I disclose some, and I hate to tell you this, but some very exciting information will be coming out. I can't disclose it now, as I was sworn to secrecy, but it's a benefit to all of the community. It's just really, really exciting. And I will tell you after the 8th or 9th. Again, I would like to say the Redcoats did a great job here in town, spent a lot of money, and boy, oh boy, what a neat tournament, and what an ambitious bunch of guys that put on that tournament and helped the community so much, to the tune of $18,000. We went to a youth council meeting with Councillor Bob Sobel, and that youth group is just one tremendous bunch of kids to work with. They got some great ideas as to how they can help the town out, and we're working with them very closely all the time, and they're just so enthusiastic, and it's heartwarming to know that there's youth in the community like that are just, it makes sure you're so proud to be in a community that with this bunch of youth that are working so hard and trying to make this community a better place to live. And I really commend them. They're just great kids, and they got some great ideas for us, and we're proceeding forward. And they thanked us very much for the town monies that was given to them to get them going. And they're having an auction for their jersey that they have. Not an auction, sorry, a raffle. So they'll probably be dropping off some tickets to try and help them out with this raffle that's signed by the Calgary Flames. And they're going to the county of Wheatland to, because there's a lot of county schools involved in this, asking them, I think they were there this week, to ask them for a bit of a handout too. But they're just great to work with. That's it, that's all I got to say. Administration?
Thank you for the teaser.
Your motion, did you put that forward?
Not yet. Your worship, I would move that council accept Mr. Dennis McNeil as the Citizen of the Month for February 2012.
I'll hear the motion. All in favor? Any discussion? Opposed? Administration, you got anything?
Yes, under economic development, on February 23rd, which is a Thursday through the Sunday, is the Home and Garden Show in Calgary. And we go to it every year. We have very large turnout. There's thousands of people that go through. And I mentioned before, we used to go to a home expo, but the turnout was never as big as Home and Garden Show. So we're going to the Home and Garden Show, and if some of you want to volunteer to take some time in there, that would be good. Also, we've registered for the Petroleum Show coming up in June, and that should be a terrific show where we get in with all the oil companies, talk to them on what their plans are. We're going to have a booth there and so on.
What was the date on the Home and Garden, Dwight?
It starts on the Thursday the 23rd and goes through Sunday the 26th
Of
February.
What's the oil?
Pardon me?
The oil one's June.
I haven't got it in front of me. It's in June sometime.
First part of June.
Pardon me?
It's usually the second weekend of June.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Also, maybe you could mention that the handouts are being redone, and if council's got any input yet they want to add to the new handouts.
Oh, Your Worship, the new town brochure.
Yes.
Yes, we're in the process of looking at making some changes, rewriting parts of it so we can put out the brochure again. I've mentioned before, usually lasts about 2.5 years, and for 5,000 copies. We've gone through 5,000 now, so in 1 year. So anyway, we're going to do the new brochure shortly.
And the administration, are the new updated town maps going to be soon done, or how is this working?
Yes, matter of fact, we just recently hired.
Made an offer.
Made an offer then. Okay, comment.
We're still without a GIS technician on staff. We've made an offer to a candidate that we're currently in negotiations with, so we're hoping to bring that candidate on board.
Soon?
If all goes well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other comments from questions between councillors or administration? If not,
Your worship, I would move to adjourn.
on votes?
Didn't we want to have a motion to accept the reports for information?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Your Worship, I would move that we accept all committee reports as information.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. It's not written down, we can't do it.
Okay, now I would move to adjourn.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried.
Recorded.